Rock and roll Chicago, rock and roll Chicago, my hometown. Well, I was born in the city, gonna rock your city, Chicago. Chicago rock and rollers are the best here around.
Hey, this is Paul Martin
and Ray the Roadie
for the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast. How you feeling today, Ray?
I'm feeling mighty fine.
No, good. I thought maybe you'd say hey, you kind of blew.
I was earlier when I was out golfing and it was windy and I was golfing like crap. Well, wait a minute. You were there with me, weren't you?
Yeah, yes, I was.
Yeah, I was kind of feeling the blues back then. And now that I'm done, I feel fine now.
That's good because you were golfing like, well, we won't say the word.
Yeah, it was disgusting. And I'm blaming the wind, the 45 mile an hour gusts. Yeah,
my face was kind of red. I don't know if it's windburn or sunburn, but
probably both.
Yeah, a little bit of both.
Probably both. Yeah.
Well, speaking of the blues, we're taking a little left-hand turn here today, and we're speaking with some Chicago blues legend.
Yes, we are. But it's not really a left turn. The blues is what inspired rock and roll.
Well, you're right. You're absolutely correct. But we're talking today with the one and only Ronnie Baker Brooks, and hopefully Ronnie has some great stories to tell us. And so let's find out about Ronnie. What do you say?
Yeah, let's talk to Ronnie. I think if we talk to Ronnie, my blues will go away.
I'm sure they will.
Yes, they will.
I'm sure they will. He seems like an upbeat kind of a guy.
Of course. Of course. He's a legend. Let's talk to Ronnie.
Okay, let's do it right now. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the show. Today, we're speaking with some Chicago blues royalty. We're speaking with Mr. Ronnie Baker Brooks. How you doing, Ronnie?
Hey, Ronnie.
I'm great. Thanks for having me on the show, guys.
No problem.
Thanks for being here.
Yes, absolutely.
It's an honor.
Hey, I'm happy to be here, man. It's been crazy, troubling times, and I'm just glad to be here, man.
Yes, I agree. I agree with you 100%. Have you had any problems? Have you had a chance to get out and play at all much lately?
No, I haven't been able to play in front of an audience since March 13th, 2020.
Wow.
That was my last show I did up in Highwood, Illinois. And I haven't played since, man.
Have you got some things booked?
Yes, I do. I do have May 21st, 2021. I'm scheduled to play at Chicago City Winery in the West Loop here in Chicago. Cool. And we got two shows, one at 6 p.m. and one at 9 p.m. And social distance and also limited seating. So I'm excited about that. This will be the first time I play in front of an audience in over a year.
Well, tell us a little bit about your past, about your history. How did you first get into playing guitar, and where did it all start for Ronnie?
Well, it all started for me. I'm the son of the late great Lonnie Brooks. My dad had music around the house, man. As far as back as I can remember, it was always music in the home, always music and love. And he would have instruments around, and I would pick up whatever he had around and try to play it. And one day he caught me and said, well, if you want to learn, I'm going to show you. So he started teaching me at 6 years old. And my first time on stage with my father, it was on my 9th birthday. It was actually it was close to my 9th birthday at this place called Hideout here in Chicago. It's no longer here, but it was in front of his crowd. My dad had went to Europe. He did a tour over there for like 6 weeks. They did the Chicago Blues tour with Hubert Sumlin and Max Simmons and Willie Mayborn and a bunch of great Chicago blues artists. And he would call home and check on us. And every time he called, like, Dad, can you take me with you next time? And he said, well, if you can learn 2 songs before I get home, you can come and play with me when I get home. And sure enough, before he got out the cab, man, I was showing him I could play those 2 songs, and he got me to this welcome home party they had for him here in Chicago at Peppers. And I got up in front of the people, man. That was the first time I ever played in front of an audience in my life. And I got hooked. But at that time, fellas, it wasn't too many of my friends playing blues. They were playing R&B or funk, especially a lot of funk, like the Parliament and George Clinton and Rick James and stuff like that. And nobody was playing no Muddy Waters. I wanted to hear Muddy Waters, you know, I wanted to play that stuff. And so I got away from it, man, to play sports. I'm just trying to give you a short story real quick.
No, that's fine. That's
a short story long.
That's fine.
I'm giving you a long story short. Yeah. And I quit playing music, man, at around 12 to play basketball. And my father was like, well, you can't do both if you want to be serious at it. You got to, you know, dedicate your time and work at it to get better. So, you know, what you going to do? And I ended up quitting to play basketball and got back into it after seeing my friend Bernard Allison here in Chicago with his dad, Luther Allison, the great Luther Allison. They did a show with my father here at Soldier Field. They had a blues festival at Soldier Field back in the early 80s. And I got bit again, and I never looked back.
What were those 2 songs, the first ones you did that you learned for your dad?
Messing with the Kid by Junior Wells, and Reconsider Baby by Lowell Fulson.
All right.
And when I came up, we played. I want to say we played Reconsider Baby first, and the people thought it was my dad playing.
Oh,
and
wow!
He just lifted his hands up. He lifted his hands up, and the people was like, "Oh no, that's him." And they started throwing me money, man. I made more money than my dad that night.
That is awesome.
And he let me keep it, but my mom took it.
She teach you how to spend it, right? Save it, right?
Well, she was telling me, hey, I had to buy that suit and them shoes you got on, so you got to reimburse me.
You got to pay for it, yeah. Everything comes at a cost.
That's right.
So now I understand though that you didn't you play bass with your dad's band for a while?
I did, Paul. That was when I was getting back into it. Now, see, my father, he made me, man, I had to go through it to get to it. I'm serious. He was like, well, if you're coming out here on the road with me, I want you to do everything but play. I was like, what do you mean? I want you to carry the gear. I want you to drive. I want you to set up the stage, tear down the stage. I want you to sell albums. I was selling vinyls LPs back then. And I wasn't making any money. So he said, okay, well, for every album you sell, I'll give you $1. So, man, I'm out there hustling his albums, selling everything I can. He would let me get up and play one song. Eventually, he let me play one song. So, but the only thing I could play was the bass. He wouldn't let me play guitar, you know, or the other guitar player, he wouldn't let me play. It was mainly the other guitar player. But the bass player was like, hey, man, you can play. Here, take mine. So I get up and play Sweet Home Chicago on bass. And but see, I grew up playing with my father. My brother, Wayne Baker Brooks, he plays guitar as well. At the time, Wayne was playing drums. And my dad was playing guitar, and I would play the bass parts when we get together and jam. And so I knew a little bit about the bass, a little bit. And so that made me feel a little comfortable playing Sweet Home Chicago on bass. And I actually got to play Sweet Home, the bass guitar with Stevie Ray Vaughan when he came and sat in with my father.
Oh, really?
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. How many albums did your dad have? You know?
Ooh, good question. I don't know. I really don't know the number. It's so many. I don't know. I really don't know. I couldn't tell you. He did a lot of singles, and like when he got here to Chicago, he did a lot of singles, man, with different companies, and like he did his first LP back in the 50s, 56, I want to say, something like that. And the big song off that one was Family Rules. That was the biggest song off that, and then The Crawl was a big one, which the Fabulous Thunderbirds did over. and Johnny Winter did over. And then Roll, 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 which Jimmy Vaughn is playing today. He got that included in his set today. So a lot of the cats down there in Texas and Louisiana was playing that stuff because it was a huge, huge record for my dad. And then he came to Chicago. Sam Cooke, great Sam Cooke, brought my dad to Chicago. And they did a show together in Atlanta. And Sam invited my dad to finish the tour out with him. And when they got back here to Chicago, he would hook him up with someone. And they got back here, and my dad stayed with Sam's parents for like 6 weeks or so. And Sam hooked him up with like BJ Records and Chess Records and all these other labels here. And eventually, my dad went on the road with Jimmy Reed. And he cut with Jimmy Reed. It's called Live. I think it's called Live from Carnegie Hall. But they recorded it here in Chicago. But the big song off that one was Big Boss Man. My dad's playing rhythm guitar on that. And so he cut a lot of records on his own as well. He's also cut a lot of records with other people that he don't even remember. He didn't remember, man, because what they would do back then was they would just cut tracks and the artists would just buy the track and put their own words to it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Similar to what the hip hop guys are doing now, you know.
Right.
They would just put a track together, music, and the artists would buy the music or, buy the track and then put their own words to it. So he played on a lot of stuff like that. And of course, you might know he did a lot of stuff with Alligator Records. Right. Alligator is celebrating their 50th anniversary this year. And my dad, I think he got with Alligator in 77, 78. So in the beginnings of Alligator. He did maybe 7 to 10 albums, something like that, with Alligator.
Wow, that's quite a bit right there.
That's quite a bit of stuff.
So so now what about yourself? How many albums do you have out?
I have 5. Okay. I actually, almost 5. I got 3 on my own label, Watchdog Records. And I did one called Times Have Changed, the latest one. That's on Mascot. And I got this new one that's coming out now. I just finished, and it's kind of an acoustic theme album produced with my friend Big Head Todd from Big Head Todd and the Monsters. Mm-hmm. And it kind of came from being in the pandemic, not able to play. And I started this Facebook Live show called Live from the Brooks Blues Basement. And I was just doing a lot of songs acoustically, a lot of the songs that I've written prior to the pandemic. And man, the people they just dug in. They've dug it, man. And I just kept on doing it and kept on doing it. I said, well, you know what? I should record this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Right. Sure.
And I just finished recording it, and we're going to put that one out soon.
So eventually did your dad finally just relinquish the reins and say, Ronnie, go out there and do your own thing?
Yeah, well, it started, I played with my father after I did all the roadieing and driving and road managing and all that stuff for him. I eventually got in the band as his guitar player. My first gig, we were opening for George Thorogood. We did a tour with George Thorogood for like 30-something dates around the United States. And that was my first. I mean, I got thrown in the fire, man. George, he had hits on MTV and all that at that time. And he was really hot. I mean, he's still great. And man, I got thrown in the fire, and I played with Dad 13 years, and he will allow me to open the show for him. So I'll do 2 songs, maybe 3 songs before he comes up. And I started writing my own material until it got to where I had an album worth of material. And he said, man, you should go on and cut the stuff. So I went down to Memphis and cut the stuff with Jelly Bean Johnson from, I don't know if you know about him, but he's from Morris Day and the Time. He's in the movie Purple Rain. He's the drummer. And he was with Prince and that camp. He came out with Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam, Flight Time Productions. He helped me produce my first 3 records. And once we got done with the first one, Gold Digger, I brought it back here to Chicago, and I came down in the basement with Dad. We was drinking some listening fluid. And man, he wouldn't say a word. my dad was just cold faced, like a poker face, man. I'm like, nigga, is he digging this, man? Man, what's up? You know, to myself, you know, and finally he waited to the end of the last song and he looked at me. He said, son, this is really, really good. He said, it's time for you to go. I said, what? What do you mean, Dad? He said, it's time for you to go on your own, man. I said, no. I said, no. I said, man, we could do it together because I always dreamed of, you know, the three of us, my brother Wayne, myself, and Dad, you know, doing it together, the Brooks family, you know. And he said, no, that it's not going to work that way. The best thing for you to do is go out there and do it yourself. Let people know that you're a solo artist. And I cried. I was really, really hurt. It was like he was kicking me out the nest, man. And what made me feel confident and better is when he said, if it don't work, you can come back. And when he said that, I was like, oh, I got a job if it don't work.
Yeah.
Okay. And I eventually started my own band. He thought I was going to take his band because I was his band leader. He thought I was going to take his band. And I was like, no, you got that. It's easier to replace me than a whole band. So I just picked up my own band and, you know, we went on the road, man. And I never got the chance to go back until we came together as the Brooks family. We were all featured together. And it was a beautiful, I'm so happy we had that time to do that before my dad passed away.
How has the blues changed? Or has it changed, in your opinion, from your dad's blues to your blues?
It's the same feeling, but a different story to me. I can't talk about picking cotton or plowing behind a mule, but I can talk about what's going on now, you know. But what I do is try to put the authentic blues vibe to it, but say what I want to say. You know, my dad taught me that very early. Like, hey. Because at one time I was playing just like my dad, note for note. And he's like, no, you got to get your own identity, man. And the only way you're going to do that if you start writing your own material and write about what you know and what you experienced. Yeah. So it's changed a lot because, you know, we got different energies in it now. You know, you got more younger people playing it now. You got different vibes where people put a little more rock into it.
Right.
You know, it's a different narrative, different story, you know.
Will the blues be around forever?
I think so. As long as there's human life.
Yeah.
I think so. Because as long as there is some pain or heartache and then the recovery from the pain.
Right.
Feeling happy, you know, that's the blues too. That's part of the blues is a healer. It's a healer, man. For me, you know.
Yeah, I've heard a lot, things I've read, programs I've listened to and stuff. A lot of people are saying that the blues is kind of fading away.
I would say this, Ray. Yes, only because a lot of the older guys are dying and have died. So that part of it has changed. I mean, you know, of course, it would never be like that again. We would never have Muddy Waters or Howlin' Wolf and Little Walter. And then you got, of course, we still have Buddy Guy here today, thank God. And Jimmy Johnson here today and several others, you know, few, but not like it used to be. At one time, when I was on the road with my dad, we would run into people on the highway, man, at truck stops, because everybody was on the road. It was so vibrant. Right. And now it's a new, a younger audience or another grade of musicians coming up. So of course it's not going to be like that. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it's dying as long as you give these artists that's coming up a chance and hear their story and see their talent. I think it will always be around because people are going to find what they want.
What about the outlet for the blues music? I mean, you have classic rock radio stations. You have you know, country radio stations. What about blues radio stations? I mean, they don't seem like they're as predominant anymore as they used to be. That's
true. That's a great point, Paul. But we do have XM radio, Sirius XM radio that has Bluesville. They have their station, which my friend Shamika Copeland is a host on. In early times, they do the blues 24 hours a day. But of course, you got to pay to get XM radio.
Right.
And we got WXRT here in Chicago that plays, the blues sometime. And my friend Tom Marker, who's been a blues advocate for as long as I can remember, playing the blues on the radio here. But and Buddy Guy, he just started an online radio, all blues radio. So yeah, we missing that a little bit. I think we need more of that. That way it would help a lot of artists get known, that people don't know about.
Well, blues, like you said, I feel it's changed as well to being more of your predominant, some of your rock stars playing blues.
Yeah, right.
Eric Clapton, obviously, just Stevie Ray Vaughan, like you said.
Right.
And it's kind of made a turnover to that, and you've got so much more guys inflicting, like you said, or injecting the rock into the blues. Yeah.
Because of it's like people like Eric Clapton and Johnny Winter, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and several others that help bring the blues to people that may have never heard it before. Mm-hmm. I heard Buddy Guy say this, that if it wasn't for the Rolling Stones and the British invasion, that a lot of people wouldn't even know about Muddy Waters, and he was right here on 43rd Street in Chicago, which is sad in one aspect, but on the good part of it is that they help expose it and get these men and women known in the blues, and that's the double-edged sword to that, it's going to be more rock guys playing, and I think we need more authentic blues people playing in as well.
We got to educate the youth. They're into all their pop and hip hop and all the other stuff. They got to expand their horizons too.
Yeah. And a lot of the African American kids run from it or don't get engaged with it because they feel like it's an old man or old woman. That's my grandmama music, or
right.
It reminds them of hard times, or a lot of them trying to get out of the ghetto now. They want something that's going to get them out of the ghetto now, where if you love the blues, you ain't going to get rich quick.
Right.
You ain't going, you know what I mean? Where if you a hip hop artist, you probably can make some money quicker, as a youngster, which is probably why a lot of them don't. But I know once they get into it and understand music, they'll know that a lot of it came from the blues. A lot of everything American music came from the blues.
Absolutely.
In my opinion. So.
Yeah, whether it be country or rock and roll or it all stems from the blues, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah. That's right.
Let's take a time out here for a second.
This is Paul Martin.
And Ray the Roadie. And we're here to talk to you about GHS strings.
That's right, Ray. Whether you play electric guitar, acoustic, or bass,
or even banjo, mandolin, or ukulele, then GHS has the strings for you.
GHS strings are easy to play with a rich, full balanced tone available in many different gauges.
Great for all musical styles. So if you play
with the best. Play GHS strings.
So who's in your band now? Who you playing with? And is your brother part of it or anything?
My brother got his own band. He just put out a new single, man, about a month ago called If These Walls Could Talk. Wayne got his own band. I have my own band. I have Philip Castleberry on bass, Daryl Coots, who has been with me over 20 years almost now on keyboards. And I got CJ Tucker back with me. He played with me years ago. He's going to do these dates. Right now, man, I'm trying to patch everything together because we hadn't worked.
Right.
And some people probably can come back to work and playing again, and some people won't. So far I've been lucky that only my drummer, he moved to Indianapolis. His name was Maurice Jones, and he's not able to come back and play with me. He played with me for about 5-6 years prior to the pandemic. He's living in Indianapolis now. So I got my man CJ Tucker to come in and play with me. And we're going to just try to get the ball rolling again, man.
It's an uphill battle.
Yeah. I think I'm stuck on stupid, y'all. I love these blues.
I give you all my money. You go shopping downtown. You come back early the next morning. You say you're gonna put me down. If I've been hit by Cupid, man, that would have been cool. I think I'm stuck on stupid. I'm your new kind of fool.
So you mentioned Luther Allison and some of the others around Chicago. Who have you played with nationwide that we may know?
Ooh. Oh man. Well, Big Head Todd at in the Monsters. Them like my brothers, man. They really they came through for me during the pandemic. I flew out there in the middle of they live out in Colorado. I flew out to Colorado in the middle of a pandemic. I just put on 2 masks and 2 pair of gloves and covered up every hole in my body and just went and cut the record with them. So those my brothers, man. They got a strong fan base and solid touring schedule and just some great musicians and good people.
They have a studio out there?
Of course, I've had the pleasure. Yeah, they got a studio out in Denver. Jeremy Lawton, the keyboard player, has one in his home, and they use it for a lot of stuff they're doing. And they allowed me to come down there and do this record that's coming out, an acoustic record. But I've had the pleasure to jam with Stevie Ray Vaughan. I had the pleasure to play with. I've done shows with B.B. King. I've done played with Buddy Guy, Otis Rush, Junior Wells, Koko Taylor, Eddie Clearwater, Luther Allison. I even had the pleasure to be invited on stage with Aerosmith at Alpine Valley back in the day. And Joe Perry's a friend of mine. I've had pleasure to, just about everybody in the blues. I've had the pleasure to either play with or get to know. Johnny Hooker was one of my favorites. Elvin Bishop is like an extended family member. And Albert Collins. Man, I can go on and on.
Right.
That's quite a list. That's quite a list.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm honored and blessed, man. I feel that's why I used to feel like an obligation. I got to do this because of the platform my father allowed me to be on with him and learn from. But now I look back, a lot of them are gone. Like Koko Taylor, she was like my blues mama, man. She was very nourishing and like we would do shows together with her. This is before I was even playing. And she'd be like, you got to keep on playing these blues because one day we going to be gone and who going to play them? You got to do it. And here we are today. It's like that now.
Right.
How about overseas? Have you got overseas?
Yeah. I was over there prior to the pandemic. I did shows in 2019. I was over there. I've done tours over there. Matter of fact, we had some dates scheduled in 20 that got canceled. And but yeah, I've been over there many times. I've been over there. The first time I went over there was in 1987. So I've been over there many times.
And is the blues received well there?
Oh yeah. Man, I remember going over there. I did a show. I want to say, where was it? In Belgium. And we did the sound check. I go back to the hotel to get a nap or whatever and did not know it was people in the lobby. After we got back, I got in my room. It was people in the lobby waiting for me to come down to take a picture and do an autograph.
Wow.
For over 3 to 4 hours, man.
Wow.
Waiting. I was like, wait, I didn't know. When I first come downstairs, they're like, yeah, they've been waiting for 3, 4 hours. Like, why y'all didn't tell me? I could have did it earlier. And I didn't know, man. That's how much they appreciate it over there. It's a higher appreciation. It really is. They study it, especially in like France. people, they study, they know what you had for breakfast that morning when you cut the record, man. So it's a deeper appreciation over there. Yeah, I've been fortunate, man. You know, I learned from people like Johnny Clyde Copeland, that's Shamika's dad. He pulled me to the side one day. We did a show, I want to say in Colorado somewhere, and he pulled me to the side and said, man, I see you getting ready to do your own thing. I want you to know, I told Stevie Ray Vaughan the same thing. Always take care of your guys, you know. Always take care of the hands that take care of you.
Right.
And my father did that as well. And so I try my best to take care of my band, you know.
A good woman used to love a man with all her heart and soul. Stuck with him till the days they grow low. You know, times have changed. You know, times have changed. Nothing remains the same. Today it's a brand new game. 'Cause times have changed.
You're not still moving your own gear now, are you? Like your dad taught you to do?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I probably need to do more, man. I done gained this pandemic weight.
Yeah. Go for 19 pounds, right?
Yeah, man. I can't wait to get back out there and play. You know, it's been an itch that, you know, I do the Facebook Live show every Friday. And it's really cool. It gives me something to look forward to. I look forward to it. I have guests on. I had Billy Branch on. I had Jimmy Johnson on, Shamika Copeland on. I had Mojo Morganfield, Muddy Waters' son. He came on, man. It was tragic because after he did the show with me, a week later, he passed away.
Wow.
And that broke my heart, man. But I'm glad we had the chance to do that together because prior to that, I was gone a lot and we never really had time to get to know each other. Mm-hmm. You know, we didn't have time to, you know, to hang out like we did that show. And so this show kind of gave me something to look forward to. But it's nothing like the real thing when you get in front of that audience, you know, and you get that instant response, either that boo or that clap or whatever it is.
Right.
Well, hopefully
I got booed off the stage once.
Did you?
Yeah, man. We got booed off the stage with George Thorogood, man. Yeah,
those are probably some dedicated fans that George Thorogood has there.
That's exactly what it was. Yeah, I was this hot shot guitar player thinking, you know, oh yeah, we gonna rock these people, man. And we get somewhere in the Dakotas, man. Somewhere in the Dakotas, I can't remember where. And the night before, we did a great show. The road manager for the production manager for George, he brought me a article, a review from the show that we did the prior night, the night before. He said, man, it was right before we were getting ready to go on stage. He said, I would if I was you. Not while you're getting ready to go on stage. I said, why, man? He said, I don't think that's a good idea because you're going to be judging this show on what you did yesterday. I'm like, no. I read the review. It was a great review. We go on stage, man. The first song, they start booing us.
Wow.
Boo.
Wow.
Boo. We want George. We want George. And my father was cool as the other side of the pillow. He was so cool. He's like, man, okay. We did what we, contracted to do. And we came off the stage. I was erratic, man. I was so hurt and pissed. I came in the dressing room. I'm throwing stuff around, man. I'm like, why they didn't even give us a chance to play? And my father grabbed me. He said, look, man, don't worry about that. He said, we lucky to get one of them people to like us. They did come to see George.
Right.
That's true.
So, and George came to our dressing room. He's like, apologetic. He's like, man, don't let that get y'all down. I wouldn't have y'all here if I didn't think y'all were great. And, my audience would dig you. It's just certain people, they just want what they want. And it was really cool. So after that, I said, man, I got to see what they like about George. All I knew was, the MTV, what I saw on TV, right? So
one bourbon, one shot, one beer.
Yeah, bad to the bone.
Bad to the bone.
I drink alone. Yeah. All his hits, And so I stayed around and started watching his show. George Thorogood, when he hits that stage, from the first note to the last note, he's working. He's working hard, man. I mean, he is drenched in sweat when he's done, man.
Yeah.
And I got it. I said, oh, he got the songs that people can relate to, that his audience can relate to, and he works his ass off.
You have to give it 100%.
I applied that to my show. I got that from him, man.
Yeah.
Same kind of work ethic. Him and my dad. You know.
So tell us a little bit about your new album that you just finished up.
Well, I got 15 tracks that I did. I wrote all of except 2. Well, I co-wrote one, and the other one Eddie Clearwater wrote. I got Billy Branch set me in with me. He's gonna he did some harmonica with me, and Todd is playing some guitar with me, and Jeremy Lawton, he played some bass and keyboards with me on some of the tracks. And all original material except for those 2 songs. And I wrote some talking about the current situation. I got a song called Stand Up, where we talking about, hey, it's time for a change, and we need to all get along and not fight. All of us is greater. None of us is greater than all of us.
Amen.
As one. And that's the theme of that. Actually, almost the whole album. And I got another one called Troubling Times. And then I wrote another song it's inspired from my father. It's called Hero. My dad was and is my hero. And then I got, let's see what else I got. I got a song called My Boo I wrote. It's kind of like a Howlin' Wolf vibe. Well, I'm singing like the wolf a little bit at the end. You better leave that alone, boy. Yeah, the wolf was a bad man. And then, and so I just put the songs together, man, and went out there, and it felt good. It was therapeutic. It was really, really fun to just connect with Todd and Jeremy, just do something productive, man, because I was sitting around the house, I can only wash dishes and wash clothes for so long. Mm-hmm. So, right. I was doing something productive towards my music, and it just felt so good, man. I'm just anxious to get it out where the people can hear it too,
When can people find it? When do you think it'll be out?
I don't know yet, man. I'm doing the photo shoot Wednesday, and taking the pictures and getting the artwork done for the cover. And then we still some touch-ups on the mixing, and we got to get it mastered and then, manufactured after that. But of course, a lot of people are downloading digitally now, so we may get it out sooner.
Okay. Well, I noticed a lot of bands, a lot of musicians, a lot of artists are putting out song by song rather than putting out a whole album because that's the way people are buying them.
Yeah. We actually did that. We put out a song called "All True Man" from the album. It's a duet with me and Todd, and it's on YouTube. It's called "All True Man," and we put one out just to get just to get some excitement. And a lot of people are doing it with one song these days.
Come here, girl, what's your name? You're so fine, tell me, what's your game? You heard it before, but not from me. I'm the all true man that you need. I ain't saying that I am Mr. Right. I'll take care of you, girl.
But it's hard for me to, I like that concept too, because I could probably do, a song a week if I wanted to.
Sure.
But I like to have the whole album where you can sit down and just, have your sip of your listening fluid and just take the ride with me.
Old school. I like that listening fluid. That's a good call. I remember that one.
Hey, the more listening fluid you drink, the better I sound.
Are there any up and coming artists that you know of in the blues world, especially because Chicago, in Chicago or South Side, because both Ray and I grew up on the South Side as well. And
where?
I grew up in Roseland.
I grew up in Market Park.
Yeah.
Wow. I used to live in Roseland, man.
Did you?
Yeah. I used to live in Roseland, man. Yeah. My brother-in-law used to live in Marquette Park.
There you go.
Chicago police officer. Yeah, man. You know, they got some people coming up. We got, this young kid, man, that everybody's talking about right now. His name Chris Stone Kingfish. And he is amazing, man. 22 years old. He's actually from Mississippi, but he signed with Alligator Records out of here in Chicago. Mm-hmm. And he's amazing, man. 22 years old. He sounds like he's been here before. So much feeling in his playing, and he's great. There's another kid here in Chicago called Jemiah Rogers. He has a group called Jemiah on Fire. And I remember when he was like, he's got to be over 21 now. He's close to 25 or something. But I remember when he was like 14 years old, 12, 13, 14 years old. I was playing at the Beverly Arts Center on the South Side. Sure. And I invited him out with his band. He had a 3-piece band, man. And they were all under 12 or something like that, man. But they were playing their butts off, man. So they wasn't scheduled to be on my show, but I took a break between my show and I said, man, y'all go and play. And he's been really doing it, man. I've been watching him, have my eye on him. He's really doing well. We just need a break or two, like all of us. Sure. He's very talented. And then, we got this other kid that lives over in England. Gotta tell you this story, fellas. I was over in Denmark back in 2016, something like that. And 2016. And I did this festival over there. And the promoter asked me, this 12-year-old kid from England wants to play with you. Can he get up and play with me? Like, of course. Let me meet him, and they brought him backstage and I talked to his parents and him. And I said, man, you want to play some blues? Because I don't want to play no rock. I don't know. No, let's play some blues. Yeah. And this kid gets up there, man. His name Toby Lee. And he wails. And someone filmed it with a phone and put it on Facebook, and it went viral, man. 117 million views.
Wow.
Not 1 million, 117 million.
Wow.
And he ended up going on Ellen, the TV show Ellen, and he's doing some big things right now, man. He's got a new record just come out, and he's amazing talent, man.
You can get credit for discovering him, right?
Well, I was when he was on Ellen, I was hoping they would, at least say my name. But no, I mean, I'm happy for him, man. He's got the talent, and I just, I hope that all of them, not just him, all of them, when they do a certain status or whatever, reach back and help somebody else, like someone helped them.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
So there is some hope. We do have some younger people that are in the blues.
Yeah, man. And I think Kingfish is going to bring in some more because, he's much younger. He's 22 years old, man. And he's so good. And he got a machine behind him now. And hopefully that will inspire some more youngsters to come in.
Mm-hmm. So where can we find... where can anybody check you out? Facebook or on Instagram, or I have the website at Ronnie Baker Brooks?
My website is being constructed right now, so that's down. But Facebook, like I said, every Friday night, 8 p.m. Central Time, I'm here at the Brooks Blues Basement. That's where I do my show every Friday. Sometimes I have guests, and sometimes I'm alone. And I do that. And then, of course, I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. Only thing I'm not on yet is TikTok. I got to get on there. My daughter's on it. She's been getting me to get on TikTok.
Yeah. Those are only 1 minute videos, though.
Yeah. Well, I'm good in 1 minute.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us today, Ronnie. And
hey.
And
thank you very much.
Yeah, good luck with the new album and continued success with your fabulous career.
Thank you guys for having me on your platform, man. And I really appreciate y'all supporting Chicago and supporting Chicago music and the blues. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining
All right.
us.
Yeah.
All right.
See, I told you, my blues have gone away.
That's good. That's good. Well, the blues, like he said, like the blues are the happy times too. After the blues, the happy times after the blues, right?
That's right. And we've got new young blues makers coming up.
Yes, we do. Yeah, but it was great. It was great talking with Ronnie and hearing some of the stuff, some of the stories about his dad, and the way he came up through the ranks, I guess you might say.
That's right. His dad made him work for his living there. I mean, he did everything. He was a roadie. He did it all. His dad showed him the ropes.
That's right. That's right. And it was good talking with Ronnie. He's a great talent there. And we wish him best of luck with his new album too, coming out. But be sure and check him out every Friday night. Friend him on Facebook and watch his
live stream. Yeah,
his live stream. I was going to say a simulcast. I guess it's a live stream.
It's a live stream on Facebook. Yeah, every Friday, and he's got that new album. I'm looking very forward to checking out that new album.
Yes.
And, I forgot to ask him. I wonder if he uses GHS strings on his guitar.
I don't know. I thought about that.
Yeah, I should have asked him if he did or not, because GHS strings sound great.
I just bought 4 new packs.
I saw. Good for you.
Yep. Got to support the sponsor.
That's right. And plus we've got gigs coming up. So
yes,
we'll be playing. You have a reason to have strings.
That's right. That's right.
Gotta have something to pluck,
And also go out there and support the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66 in Joliet.
That's right. That's roadtorock.org.
Yes,
visit their website. And while you're there, sign up to be a charter member.
Okay. All right.
I'm a charter member.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you are. We both are. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast.
I did.
I did too. And I'm no longer bluesy. I'm kind of rosy.
Okay, Rosie. All right. It's gone from blue to rosy.
To blue to rosy.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next week with another exciting episode. I'm sure. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening.
The Rock and Roll Chicago podcast does not own the rights to any of the music that's played on this podcast.
The music is used to promote the band or musicians that are interviewed.
Rock and roll Chicago. Rock and roll.